Prabhajyoti Kaur. She is working as software engineer in Pune Tech. Okay, she is BSc Mathematics from Delhi University, and she has been working for how many years? 2 years. And she is going to present us on the testing mobile application security for usability. So wish you all the good luck, and then you have 15 minutes and 5 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. I am not Prabhujot, I am Prabhjot. Thank you all for sustaining so long. I promise I will not bore you and make my presentation short and sweet. So I am going to present over testing mobile applications for usability. Let's take a quick look at the overview. I would start off with a brief introduction about my topic, usability and users, and what is the relation between them, impact of negative user experience, key attributes, focus areas, and some possible testing strategies when we talk about usability testing about mobile applications. Takeaways and QA round would follow up next. Now, the smart devices industry has become one of the most hottest and fastest growing industry in the world. The PC era is dead, and we now live in a mobile world. We are witnessing this in our daily life. Teenagers are socializing using smart mobile applications. Nurses are delivering care using tablets. Friends are shopping online using applications that are designed specifically for these purposes. Now, what is it about smart devices that has captured such a major market share? Mobile applications. Mobile applications have become so ingrained in modern life that it is tough to imagine what life is like without them. Every month, hundreds and thousands of applications get launched in the app market, but not all of them are successful. While a lucky few ones get downloaded thousands of times and go viral, most do not even generate a few users. Now, mobile applications mostly fail either because the content is not interesting or because it is tough to be used over the mobile environment. Now, a good mobile application, a successful mobile application specifically requires good planning, thoughtful user interface, interactive features, usability, solid technical performance, and a good promotional strategy that makes sense for the target audience. It is the usability that makes Facebook stand out from other social media applications. It is the user experience of Angry Birds that makes it stand out. It is again the user experience of Subway Surfers that gave Temple Run a run for its money. So the million-dollar question here is, what is usability? Having an application is not synonymous with using an application, and that is the difference, which is called usability. Now here I would like to share an example with you, a personal experience a couple of days ago. I was sitting in a project meeting, being a lazy one. I had a sudden idea to record the meeting instead of writing the contents. So that's what I did. I pulled out my smart device, I started my audio recording application, and I clicked on the record button. After a while, I put it on key lock so as to save battery. Now, what happened, once I unlocked my device, I was disappointed because my audio recording stopped because of the key lock. Now, that was bad user experience for me because A, I was not listening intently, and I had not made any kind of notes. So that is bad user experience for me. And we must understand that products are made for the use and consumption of users. And users differ. Users differ in terms of knowledge, interest, goals, demography, professions, and so on. Say for instance, a farmer from Punjab would probably be using the IFCO mobile application to study the prices of his produce. Kids across the world are crazy about games by Disney and Glue. Business professionals, say for instance QA engineers, schedule their tasks over their smart devices. Tribes across the world get information about grazing land, watering holes, and so on from applications that are designed specifically for them. So we have to understand that there are various personalities who would use our applications and ask questions from usability perspective. Questions like, who are the application users? What are their mobile tasks? What is the environment they are working in? What are the different kinds of devices they are going to use? Is a lot of reading required? Is a lot of data entry required? And so on. Now what happens when we do not ask such questions? What happens when we ignore or do not conduct sufficient usability studies for our application? We not only incur a loss over our product, we put our customers through bad user experience, and we lose our customers' trust over our existing and future applications. Now that is a major dent in our marketing strategy. Let's take a look at how customers react to bad user experiences. This is a survey done by CompuWare in March 2013. 48% are less likely to use the mobile application. 34% switch to competitors' applications. 31% tell others about poor experience. Another 31% are less likely to purchase from that company. So these are the various reactions that come bundled with bad usability. Now, there are many attributes that contribute together to make an application that people love to use. I am going to discuss few of those today. Simplicity, errors, efficiency, and user satisfaction. Now simplicity, when we talk about simplicity with respect to mobile applications, we mean the workflow and the user interface of the application should be simple and easily comprehensible. Now the IRCTC mobile application has received a lot of flack for its slow and sluggish performance, but take a look at its UI. For a novice user, it is no rocket science, and for an expert user, this is just what you want. Errors. Ask questions. Questions like, is my user making a lot of errors when he's using the application? Is he making the same error or similar kind of errors over and over again? Is he able to recover from errors like installation, unexplained inconsistencies, and so on? Efficiency. Ask questions like, can my user quickly, simply, and without a lot of fuss interact with the application? Does he have to fight with the application and perform some circus contortionist acts to get the job done? User satisfaction. Continuing the example of the farmer using IFCO mobile application from the previous slide. Now that kind of user has very less to do with technology. So the question here is my user happy? Does he feel discouraged? Or does he feel elated and happy to use this application or any other application for that matter? Now when we talk about mobile applications, they are extremely different and complex from traditional desktop and web-based applications. So naturally the focus areas differ. I am going to talk about some of those focus areas here: functionality, mobile context, different devices, data entry methods, multimodality. Now functionality. Today applications come equipped with great functionalities, and any failure in one of those can lead to bad user experience and can put off customers big time. Now here I would like to state the example of Skype mobile application. Now Skype is very well known for its instant messenger and calling facility. Now a typical mobile device has two kinds of speakers, one in front for normal calls and one in the back for loudspeaker, hands-free purposes. The problem with Skype version 3 was that when a user was making calls using the mobile application, the call automatically switched to loudspeaker. Not only is that uncomfortable, but extremely embarrassing if you are in public. And let's see how customers reacted to this. Eventually, any other application would be good that can make calls to PC using any of major protocols. So it's not the customer's loss. Customer is going to move on and replace your application with a new one. The next focus area is mobile context. Now mobile context has a critical part to play when we talk about usability of applications. Let's understand what mobile context is first. Mobile context is a user's situational, attitudinal, and preferential habits. Mobile context poses various constraints, fat fingers, small screen sizes, location, postures, etc., but also provides various capabilities: automatic orientation detection, dynamic location detection, compass, accelerometers, and so on. Now, why mobile context is critical? Let's understand. We have two applications at hand, application A and application B. Now both the applications perform the same functionality. That is, I provided an input and it will generate a list of restaurants for me according to my input. Now I input that I want to check out a list of Chinese restaurants. Application A displays a list of Chinese restaurants for me across the world. Now application B displays a list of Chinese restaurants for me in Bangalore, also displays review of my friends who have been there and understands it's evening and I am probably looking for dinner. So the kind of information application B is giving me is exactly what I wanted, an awesome user experience. So this is why mobile context is very critical when we talk about usability, because it directly impacts the user experience. Like grains of sand, there are astounding number of devices out there in the market, all varying in terms of form factors, processing capabilities, memory power, etc. Now, an application may work fine over one device, but it may display inconsistent behavior over the other device. And it is up to us as test engineers to ensure that our application is tested keeping in mind an optimized test matrix. Keep in mind all the nuances that are associated with different devices to deliver a usable application. Data entry methods. Now, when we talk about mobile devices, especially smart mobile devices, there are a lot of data entry methods. Voice recognition, stylus, touch, gestures, and so on. So our application should coordinate well with those data entry methods. Multimodality. Nowadays, multimodal applications are emerging, and in fact, in the near future, they are going to get bigger and better. An example of this is the navigation application on devices. Now, multimodal applications take voice and touch as input and deliver spoken responses and visual displays as output. So it is then again, multimodality is again a very important and critical factor when we talk about usability. Because imagine you are looking for navigation and suddenly the GPS stops and you are stuck nowhere. So these focus areas that I just discussed imply that it is extremely essential that when we are conducting usability studies for our product, we should include these focus areas, not only to get the optimum coverage, but also the confidence of launching our application in the market. Now, all being said and done about what is usability, key attributes, focus areas, let's get to business here and talk about usability testing strategies and how to implement them in our testing life cycle. Now, usability can be impacted by each and every decision in our design and development phase. So we must follow it up as an iterative approach that extends throughout the life cycle, so that when we have a final product, it should have all the usability requirements. Letting your staff test the application is not going to help you anyways, because you should test with actual users. You must identify test users, interview them, probe them about discoveries or any discomfort they might have experienced to launch a market-ready application in the market. We can also find a software testing company that specializes in this field, because companies like these have a group of technicians that bring on table a great variety of skills and expertise. We can also crowdsource the application. We can find a subset of real users and have them implement real scenarios that cannot be simulated in the test laboratory. So these are some of the testing strategies that I have listed out. We can always customize them according to our approach. With that, I would like to wind up my presentation by reiterating the key highlights. The brave new digital age has started, and it is time that we started giving usability its importance. We must understand and appreciate the personalities of users, target key areas with lots and lots of scenarios, ask questions as an end user, and apply a structured approach to usability, because we do not want an application that is downloaded once, installed once, used once, and forever forgotten. That's all from my end. Questions? Please.
How do you measure the user satisfaction? Other than the people who pay or who are the bad publicists, those are all the statistical information. But
Right.
how you gauge the positive feedback about any application, usability of the application?
So usability is user satisfaction is a factor that totally depends on a user's personality and how he interprets the application. So there is no definite measure for it, but yes, we must include actual users and take their output about what they feel about the application, and not just any set of users, a very strategized set of users who we should feel that they are the actual users of the application, and people like these will be using the application eventually. Any other question? Yes.
The focus areas that you have mentioned for usability, but you have not considered the performance of the application.
Absolutely, that's true.
Is it not coming under user experience?
Yes, it does come under user experience, but I was talking about focus areas, something that is specific to mobile applications, something that is revolutionary and should be specific. Of course, performance is a usability and the biggest criteria I would say. But then again, it's not something which is just unique to applications. So I was talking about areas that are unique to mobile applications and could, not be thought of when we are doing browser applications, web applications, and so on.
Who gives the requirement for usability? Does the client give or as a tester you want to say?
We have to apply, because usability is something that clients want, but they do not pay you for. So it's something that comes from the testers. And there are no such requirements for usability except the experience of testers and your test user.
But different testers have different perceptions.
Yes, so I'm not saying that just one tester would do that. Like I said, there's going to be a subset of users who would be your intended users of the application, and they would tell you, is this usable? And they would tell you what they expect from the application. They would tell you what is the context they are going to use the application, and that would be your requirements for usability. Yes.
Just to add on to this question, there would be a functionality. We saw quite an example which were like games and few things, but there is a functionality wherein I have to book a ticket, right? So it has some functionality behind it, and it has requirements which we as testers are ensuring that it works the way. And then there is also the aspect of usability. So how much time do you want to give in the usability front? Because it's something extra that you are going to do, which the client might not have asked for, but we have to ensure that the usability is also high. So how do you meet that?
Your question was that how much time should we devote to usability, in a nutshell. Right. We should devote good amount of time, because nowadays applications are changed like this. And now usability has become equally important factor like functionality. So yes, usability is important, and we must create the awareness in our client's end that you must conduct it and put efforts, time, cost and money into it. So that's, I hope, answers your question.
So one of the primary challenges for testers is choosing the right devices
Right.
for testing. Do you have any recommendations? Say there are so many devices in the market with so many form factors. Do you recommend any right device selection strategy for doing usability testing?
See, that question depends on the geography. If you are releasing an application in America, please keep Apple devices majorly in your matrix. If you are testing in India, if you are launching an application in India, in this subcontinent, then you must keep the devices like Micromax, Spice. These are some things which happen, which can be influenced with a lot of factors. And geography is just one factor. So there is no perfect test matrix, but yes, it depends on your application, users, geography, and many other such factors. Yes.
So usability testing is depicted as functional testing as well as non-functional. What exactly is this, according to you?
See, it encompasses both, because functionality, if it doesn't work, it's again bad user experience. And if the UI is confusing, then again that's bad user experience. So it's half and half of both.
No, if we have to write a proposal, does it come under functional or non-functional? So that's the question.
Well, I would say it's a part of both. That's my take on it.
Maybe functionality testing could be done by the professional testers, usability could be given to a crowd.
It could be. It's just how you want to take your approach on it. If you would want to give your functional testers a chance to do that, yes.
Because many times we say non-functional is under not under scope or something, right? But then it happens that usability may come under non-functional.
Yeah, earlier we used to say that when they were more of web apps, but mobile apps, usability is very important. It's equally important.
Do you suggest any tools or I don't think the user can be simulated with a tool. So the human element is the major part of usability, and that there's no tool. I don't think personally that a tool should be doing that. But yes, if you want to create images, snapshots of optimum usability and check it against your application, then yes, you have tools for that. But not the emotional aspect would never come.
So, generally for usability, you mentioned that it is best if you get the end user feedback, right? They are testing your application. So, in case of mobile app testing, is it really happening that the companies or the people who are developing that application, they are reaching the end user do the usability testing before they launch it publicly? I
Well,
have not seen that so far. So that
yes, see that scenario that you're talking about, even I'm not surely entirely aware of, but what I feel is that if that company is approaching testers, then though a testing company, or probably they have their own in-house testers, then they would probably reach out to those users.
is that really happening? Because for web app, if you're working for a client, you have UI, your business use, just the application, right? And then they give you the acceptance, and then the company is more confident. So the same thing happens for product companies also. They do a pilot with certain customers and all. In case of mobile apps, how is it primarily dependent on testers like you currently?
Well, currently yes, it is. See, because again, usability, so far there are no guidelines or any standards set out for usability. So yes, it is just the testers who are doing it, but eventually I think it's imperative that people approach real users for the same purpose. That's my take on this. Is there any more questions?
I have a question. So have you referred to Apple website and see, do they have any internal standards which could be used as a benchmark? Because Apple was the first one to start this user experience
Yes.
and other things.
It was
So
the
they must be
application
having some standard which could be used as a benchmark for others. I'm sure there is a benchmark standard.
Apple may not be the right example because just now they released one version of the Office software which was removing the previously working components.
I'm just
They
saying,
are concentrated more on their operating system and their application rather than the user. So Apple may not be a right example.
Thank you for saving me from that question.
very good. Thank you so much.
सर एक मिनट अच्छी वाली फोटो है कभी नहीं आती ऐसे
Thank you.
थैंक यू सर